True anointing does not attract comfort. It attracts conflict. It is a dangerous misconception that being chosen by God leads to an easy life, when in reality, a heavy mantle often makes you a primary target for the kingdom of darkness. That suffocating weight of isolation and the sudden, unexplainable attacks on your peace are not signs of God's absence, but evidence of His mark upon you. Today is all about identifying the 6 specific signs that you are dangerously anointed by God. Ignoring these signs leads to a dangerous spiritual identity crisis, where you mistake God's refining fire for a personal failure. Without this understanding, the very pressure designed to produce your oil will instead become the weight that breaks your spirit. Before we dive deep, please like and subscribe to protect your spiritual fire. It is time to see your battles through the eyes of the Spirit. Here is the truth. Number 1, you are the target of unseen spiritual battles. Have you ever wondered why your spirit feels like a battlefield, even when your physical life is calm? That sudden, suffocating weight of fear is not a sign of mental weakness. It is a spiritual alarm. Hell does not waste ammunition on empty vessels. It only targets what it fears. Your internal turmoil is the proof of the oil you carry. The enemy notices the divine light rising within your soul. He strikes because you are becoming dangerous to his kingdom. Every wave of unexplainable heaviness is a backhanded compliment from the darkness. It is an acknowledgement of your hidden authority. You are being forged in the heat of spiritual friction. This friction is necessary for your expansion. It is not a sign of defeat. It is a sign of impact. Think of David in the shepherd's fields. He faced the lion and the bear long before the giant. These battles were his secret training ground for a throne. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We face principalities and powers in high places. Your struggle is the evidence of your rank. You are being tested because you are trusted. The resistance of the enemy is the ultimate validation of your divine assignment. Number 2, you are set apart in purifying isolation. Popular wisdom says that isolation is a sign of failure, but the truth is that God's favorites are often the loneliest people on earth. That painful silence in your social circle is not a curse. It is a strategic withdrawal. Your phone stops ringing. Old friends suddenly find you too much or different. You feel like an outsider in your own family. This season is not a punishment for your mistakes. It is a private classroom for your soul. Heaven is removing the human crutches you once leaned on. You are being stripped of worldly noise to hear the divine frequency. The wilderness is where the ego goes to fade. It is where your true identity begins to emerge. It is not a rejection. It is a selection. It is not a prison. It is a preparation. Look at Joseph in the depths of an Egyptian prison. He was separated from his brothers to save a nation. The isolation was the bridge to his destiny. He had to learn to trust God without the applause of his peers. God separates what he intends to sanctify. He hides what he is preparing to reveal. Silence is the birthing room of power. Divine isolation is the mandatory prerequisite for public authority. Number 3, you face mental warfare right after victories. The enemy cannot take your divine calling, so he settles for trying to steal your capacity to fulfill it. That relentless cycle of anxiety and overthinking is a strategic attempt to drain your spiritual battery. It is a psychological ambush. You might experience a deep mental crash right after a major spiritual breakthrough. This exhaustion is not your fault. It is a sign of your threat level. The enemy wants to burn you out before you reach your next manifestation. He wants your mind so cluttered that you cannot see the miracle standing right in front of you. Your peace is your power. It is the fuel for your journey. It is the atmosphere where God's voice is heard most clearly. The battle for your mind is actually a battle for your future. Do not mistake this fatigue for a lack of faith. It is the weight of the crown you are being prepared to wear. Consider the prophet Elijah at Mount Carmel. He witnessed fire from heaven, but fled in terror shortly after. 1 Kings 19 reveals that the heaviest mental warfare often follows the highest spiritual victories. Your mental fatigue is evidence of the ground you have already conquered. It is the reaction of a defeated foe trying to reclaim lost territory. You are not losing your mind. You are defending your territory. Stand firm. The chaos in your mind is the ultimate validation of the power in your spirit. Number 4, you encounter mysterious and divine delays. Mainstream wisdom says that a closed door is a sign of failure, but the truth is, it is often a divine shield of protection. You have prayed for growth. You have fasted for progress, yet every door remains locked, while others seem to pass you by with ease. This mysterious delay is not a sign of God's forgetfulness. It is His faithfulness. Heaven is preventing a premature promotion that would crush your character before your mission even begins. A skyscraper requires a foundation deep enough to support its height. You are being dug out. You are being reinforced. The frustration you feel is the tension of being prepared for something massive. It is the mercy of the Father. He refuses to give you the throne until you can survive the palace. He is protecting the purpose from the person. He is refining the vessel to hold the new wine. Remember the life of Joseph. He spent years in a prison for a crime he did not commit. Psalm 105:19 states that, until the time that his word came, the word of the Lord tried him. The delay was the test. The wait was the filter. The silence was the surgery. You are not stuck. You are being seasoned. You are not forgotten. You are being forged. Trust the clock of heaven. Your current delay is the divine construction of your future stability. Number 5, you are betrayed by those closest to you. Why does the deepest pain often come from the hands you once held in trust? That sharp sting of abandonment is not a divine mistake. It is a strategic pruning. You are being stripped of human validation. Heaven is teaching you to stand alone. If you rely on the crowd, you will be controlled by the crowd. You must learn to discern the divine whisper in the total silence. This wound is your secret training ground. It prevents you from becoming a slave to public opinion. It forces your spiritual roots to go deeper into the source. You are being prepared for a weight of glory that the fickle cannot carry. The betrayal is a holy filter. It removes those who cannot survive your future. You are being emptied of man to be filled with the Spirit. This pain has a clear destination. It creates a heart that only beats for one audience. It builds a character that is unshakable. Look at the life of Jesus. He was sold for 30 pieces of silver by a close friend. Psalm 41:9 speaks of the trusted companion who lifted his heel against the chosen. David wept over the betrayal of those he shared bread with. These giants were not broken by desertion. They were made by it. Your scars are your credentials. They prove you have survived the knife. The betrayal of man is the divine invitation to the absolute intimacy of God. Number 6, you carry an unshakable purpose through the fire. There is a flame that burns away your impurities without touching your divine essence. You are currently standing in the middle of a furnace. Doubts scream in your ears. You feel completely unworthy of your calling, yet you cannot walk away. There is a holy stubbornness buried deep in your bones. This persistent whisper of still more is the voice of the anointing. The pressure is not designed to crush your soul. It is designed to activate your true spiritual authority. You are being purged of every false motive. True power is not given. It is forged. The heat is removing the dross of your old life. Only the indestructible gold remains. You are coming out with a heavy testimony. You are coming out with the legal rights to free others from their chains. The fire is your promotion. It is your graduation. It is your proof. Recall the 3 Hebrew boys in the Babylonian furnace. Daniel 3:25 shows a fourth man walking in the fire with them. They emerged without even the smell of smoke on their clothes. The fire only burned their bonds. It did not touch their skin. Your current trial is performing the same miracle. It is liberating your spirit from worldly attachments. It is certifying your faith. The heat is high because the calling is great. Your survival in the furnace is the undeniable proof of your eternal spiritual dominion. The weight you currently carry is not a sign of divine rejection. It is the certification of divine selection. This season is not about your struggle. It is about your scale. Every unexplainable battle was a hidden promotion. Every closed door was a strategic shield. Will you continue to view your refinement as a tragedy? Or will you finally recognize the dangerous oil dripping from your spirit? The time for mourning your isolation is over. Rise from the dust of betrayal. Your wilderness season has fulfilled its purpose. The silence was the surgery. The furnace was the factory. Do not forfeit your authority by shrinking back now. The cost of standing still is far greater than the cost of moving forward. Your destiny requires your total surrender to the process. Comment the word anointed if you are ready to stop hiding and start leading. Send this to one person who is currently being crushed by the weight of their calling. They need this awakening. Like and subscribe to keep your lamp burning and your vision clear. The process is finishing. The power is arriving. Walk in authority